Mueve, que te 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 mueve. Ese ritmo se mueve.
I shall discover the secret that man has been looking for since the beginning of time.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. It's Courtney Love here. Let's do a quick transition. Hello. Tonight, we have a special stream for you. I have a guest on tonight for a segment I like to call Braving New Worlds. People who I think are making the world a better place by producing the art that they create and produce, and simply just by being brave. So tonight we're hanging out with Erin Miller, who is also a streamer. You can find their streams at Erin the Miller. I'll give her a quick shout out. I'm working off my phone, so it's going to be quite the task. Perfect. And there is a chat command tonight that you can use. If you put exclamation point Aaron the Miller. You'll be able to find Aaron's Instagram where all of her watercolors are stored. So without further ado, here is Aaron the Miller. Yay! How you feeling, Aaron? You did. Oh, thank you so much. I didn't practice that in a mirror or anything. No, did it seem like it did? Are you okay? No. I need to do that more. I need to figure out how to do that. Especially with like keeping the background too. Or I guess like I've seen some people do some cool stuff, like Cool Like. He's a streamer that I think Cheyenne rated at one point. And he has some really cool close-ups. Yeet Boy, welcome to the chat. Thank you for being here. Woot woot. Yeah, how was your day? Did you get anything done? Did you get relaxed? Did you have work today? Mm-hmm. That's great. How and it's interesting you mentioned online. How do you spend your time online mostly? I do. I do it at specific times. I think I'll go maybe 2 to 3 hours, like every other day. Yeah. Not that it's like a regimen, but that's usually just how it ends up happening. Because I'll either be going to work, streaming the next day, only thinking about streaming, and then I will go to sleep, waiting for the next day, and hit the TikTok app. Oh, Aaron, you're muted. I'm sorry. Dang it. My bad. Thank God viewers are here. Thank you, Garm.
We didn't get into anything deep yet.
There we go. Yeah, we haven't gotten to anything deep. Right now we're talking about TikTok, and we're talking about how we spend time online. Aaron asked me if I spend a lot of time on TikTok, and I spend about 2 to 3 hours every other day. And the reason, this is a long story short, I only go on TikTok when Connor sends me a DM on TikTok with like things he's...
No way.
Mm-hmm. And so that'll get me into my like scrolling binge.
My top I think I have like 5 main TikTok friends, and the top 3 are like Connor, Lido, and Steph. But like mostly, and then Cheyenne and I will send each other one every once in a while. Mm-hmm. It's great because like you don't even have to say anything; it's just a share.
Yeah, just double click. Yeah, I love that. And yeah, Connor's got the spicy like TikToks. I really like them. They say a lot about, I think, our generation and other generations too. I just feel like it's like sociology. Like scrolling on that.
Yes. It's really interesting because I feel like the videos that I send to specific people is based on how I perceive them. And it's like, oh, this is a really weird TikTok. Like, Lido would like this. Or it's like, this one's about stupid sibling stuff. Connor would like this. Or like, just like funny stuff that reminds me of Steph. Like, I'll send it to her. I love that it's just like really, you don't have to try super hard to connect with people.
Yes. I wholeheartedly agree. I need to make more. Have you made any? I've made
a couple, yeah. They're like just kind of like copying people that do stuff, or like jumping on a trend. Have you made any?
I've made two. I made one with my mom when we were watching a Hallmark movie. And then another one was me flying in Breath of the Wild onto my horse with Secret Agent Man.
I saw that one.
Yeah. And that was just like my peak of creativity. I'm trying to get more into like filming some stuff, but it's like that, you know, that reverse camera filter where like you can see what people see when they watch you, that people have been doing, and they're
Like
just,
inverted?
yeah, the inverted camera thing.
Yeah.
So the way that people have been freaking out like now is the way I've always felt about looking at myself in the mirror. Just like, okay, this is this new trend where people don't like looking at themselves. Oh, hey, that's my thing.
I've been doing that my whole life.
Yeah. So that's like the only self-conscious thing about it. And then like the way that I speak to you, because sometimes I'll step over my words, like I haven't thought the sentence out beforehand. So, and there are times where I'll even leave out parts of sentences, and I don't know if it's like, that's just like the way my brain is wired, or if I took too many, hallucinogens.
Yeah, I don't know, Kurt. Like, I feel like your brain moves super fast, and it might move faster than like your mouth.
Yes, I trip over my words, and I think that's because the thoughts get there faster than the way I can process them and speak them out loud. Does that make sense?
That's fair. My brain moves like a lot slower than me talking.
Okay. So the mouth moves and gives out more messages than like the brain can handle?
Yeah, and so I'll just have like a lot of filler, and then I'm like, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
What's that initial feeling like when you meet a new person? Like when you're in a conversation, and I guess it depends on the person, like if they're interesting or not. But like, How does that feel? Like trying to converse with another person?
Yeah, honestly, it's kind of changed. Just because I consider myself like a huge extrovert, and I love meeting new people. It's super exciting. But now I feel like during quarantine and not seeing so many people in person, it's like slight social anxiety now. It's like I have to do a shit ton of research on people before I meet them, and it's like we gotta have talking points, or else it'll be like kind of cringe. And then I think it's just because I am sort of done at trying so hard, because like I'm reaching a point in my life where I'm starting not to like give any Fs. Is this a cursing stream?
Yes, it is for mature audiences, so feel free to express yourself in however you feel.
Perfect.
Fuck it,
Exactly. I don't know. What about you?
I would say everything you said resonated with me. And I said something to my therapist today about we're still on the topic of masks and masquerading, creating personas, and the sort of things that you do when you are in a particular activity or when you're around certain people. And I talked about how I am a little bit more of myself when I meet a new person, because I bring out all of the best qualities of myself. And I think the best qualities of myself are like my core sensibilities, like being empathetic and caring for others. So, because that is me in my element, like when I'm hosting the party and just checking up on everybody else and just keep it moving, and I feel like I've always had this ability to pull truths out of people without even really trying. Not that like people drop information at me and I'm not ready for it, which has happened sometimes, but it's more of like I was asking a particular question that led someone down to the part where they're saying things that they've never said to anybody else to me.
So they're like, you make people feel comfortable talking to you.
I suppose. I don't know. Is it working?
So far, so good.
Okay, great. Can I ask something about your aesthetic?
Okay. Whoa.
What is your general aesthetic on your own? And is it any different from when you're going out? And I guess like and that can be whatever you
Right. Interesting. I haven't really thought of it as I don't really care how I come off. Sometimes I think about it when I'm a little bit trapped in my head. I feel like Connor has asked me about he's like, how do I come off to people? Like, what's my vibe? And so he and I will talk about it. But for me, what I've heard from other people, they're like, oh, you seem like pretty chill, kind of excited, interested in what like I have to say. But I guess my personal vibe, or what I think that I give off, is just like enthusiastic curiosity. Like I definitely feel like I definitely give off like a young kid vibe. I mean, look at me, like I look like Ness.
Yes, I was gonna say Earthbound. Thank God. I knew that this was the train of thought to go on, so that you would say that.
I know, I know. Dude, I don't know what it is. Like, I love striped shirts. I got onto them when I worked at a like a co-working space, and there was this dude that came in, and he was like, yo, he was kind of like an older emo boy. So he had like the swoopy hair, like the skinny ripped jeans, and the stripy shirts. And I was like, dude, stripy shirts are in. Graphic tees are out.
Yes.
So whenever I go like thrift shopping, there are tons of stripy shirts at the thrift stores, and they're like $3. So I have that was actually one of the TikToks I made. It was like, here are all my stripy shirts.
That's awesome. Building a closet full of stripy shirts is a dream.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. But that's great. I love how aesthetics can play into like sensibilities, you know. And I don't know if it's really gotten to that point with me where it's like I dress like utility is my aesthetic.
Right. I mean, yeah, you have like coveralls, right?
Yeah, I'm wearing them right now. I had to wear a sweater because it's cold inside.
Dude, I love your coveralls. I wish that was my aesthetic. Like, I kind of want to be like lumberjacky, but I'm not the like calloused yet.
Well, just move to a colder climate, and I'm sure. Well, you were in a cold climate for a really long time, and
Yeah, I was in upstate New York, but yeah, I kind of got tired of being cold, and now I'm in Austin, and it's too hot. So,
but it was pretty cold for like 3 weeks, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Thank good we weren't even here for that.
Wow. Okay, great.
Like, yeah, so like Austin froze over. All the like cacti that have been in the city for generations all died, and
Wow.
everything still looks super dead outside. And thankfully, Steph and I were coming back from a road trip, and we decided to stay at a hotel for like multiple nights until like the water started running again, and like it was like safe to come back because there was no water at our apartment for a bit.
That's distressing.
Does that happen in Chicago? I feel like y'all's infrastructure is prepped for that.
For the most part, I think not so much in low-income areas, and I can get into that. But first, I want to say thank you to Quail Quest, aka Sid, for letting me know that the category is still Animal Crossing and is not Animal Crossing. We are just chatting. And thank you for being here. Sid says hi, Aaron.
What's up?
Great. I can just keep this Streamlabs open so I don't have to look at my phone, because that's the thing that stopped like keeping me away from seeing everything that's happening. So,
I know, I should like. I definitely want to look at the chat too. Maybe I'll pull it up.
and we're pulling people in. People are coming in from either streams or having dinner themselves, and I always forget that it's like people are just getting off of work at 7 o'clock in Central Time.
Mm-hmm.
So, excuses, but I'm having a good time.
Same pal.
Yeah. So I'd love to unless you wanted to talk about Chicago, but I'd love to talk about your watercolor painting.
Yes, let's do it.
Perfect. Sid says, no problem, friend. Also, volume's a little uneven, I think. Aaron's volume is a lot louder than you. Okay, thank you. Everyone's got my back today.
That's awesome. I love the community.
Yes, the community is got my back. So yes, watercolor painting. Why watercolor as a medium? If you can remember the first time you worked with watercolors, and yeah, that's good for now.
That's a good start for sure. Solid cues. I can't remember the first time I used watercolors. Actually, yeah, I do. So do you remember the company called Rubber Stampede?
No.
So they make stamps, and my aunt and my mom used to work there, and it was basically an art supply store focused on making rubber stamps, selling rubber stamps. It was a big thing apparently. And my mom and my aunt were very influential when it came to making art. My dad also did like some sketching and stuff, but on the side. But my mom and my aunt provided the materials to create. And thankfully I was in a cool household where they were like, yeah, if you want to make something, go for it. So I had the materials and I had the space to do that. And I liked drawing, and watercolors just seemed like a good addition to all of the drawing and the sketching I was doing. And so I think I just like started drawing a long time ago, made zines with Connor, and then like messed around with acrylic paints. That was cool. And then recently, actually, I started using watercolors during quarantine. Okay. Just to see what was up. I think I was like putzing around YouTube, and also Skillshare, because Cheyenne like had promo codes for Skillshare.
Awesome.
I was like, dude, yeah, watercolors seem pretty cheap and seems like a good starting point for just like making art and spending your time like making stuff. So I started doing that, and it's like a pretty forgiving medium. It sort of forces you to be a little bit patient, and it's something that you can adjust over time. Like if you want it to be darker or like a different vibe, you can sort of adjust like your drawing as you're creating it or thinking about it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's I think the origin story.
That's awesome. When given the resources and the space to explore the medium, I think is probably the best introduction to it. How else is it introduced to people's lives? It could be, you know, part of like their academic assignment, you know, like everyone's assigned to art class. Is it when it becomes like art in an academic sense to become less fun? But I think that is perfect exposure to a really creative medium and happy medium like that. I feel like I had a similar introduction towards the thing that I want to be practicing more of, filmmaking, as a form of recreation and not as a form of recreation and a form of storytelling, but not necessarily like, okay, this is your like things that people make money out of. You know, it's the medium that you enjoy watching, and you can have a really fun time doing it. I think those were the ideas that got me into doing it a lot more. What I think is interesting is that when seeing you sketch and then paint within, it's always interesting to think about the parameters of what you make, the lines that are drawn to create the edges of what you paint inside of. because I think you have a very particular, unique style, in that it's almost a caricature, and I don't mean that in a pejorative sense at all, but it's more of like square, like geometric. The geometric decisions are deliberate. Is that something you would agree with?
Yeah. Totally. Also, like, yeah, I would hope that my stuff is like a little bit caricature-esque, because I think what I'm trying to convey when I am painting and drawing is just like a vibe and like the energy of the moment. And I'm not super realistic when I draw. Most of the like bodies that I draw it kind of looks like celery, like it's like long and slender and square and rectangular, and so like I call them like celery people. And it's just like, I don't know. It's very minimal, but it's also very geometric. I'm glad you like recognize that. I do have some examples so I could show the stream what we're talking about.
Awesome.
So like this is a
moment. I'm gonna try to full screen.
Okay.
All right. Ooh, here we go.
You got this.
I so got this. Yep. Booyah.
We here?
Yeah, we out here.
Sweet. So yeah, so like lots of squares, lots of triangles. I would say that most of my stuff is like kind of square and rigid. Here's another one. A lot of sharp edges. Yeah, cartoony is what I'd like to say. Some people have likened it to some cartoons. I don't know which one. I'm out of the loop. Stuff like that.
Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, I'm trying to think about some of the things that it reminds me of, and that's the hardest part. I think like, I don't know why I'm thinking Wind Waker. I'm just thinking like square hands and like boxy characters, and I've definitely seen like cartoons done like that, animation done like that, and I definitely love it.
Yeah, I think it's an easy place to start, just to see sort of the shapes behind different characters. Like, I mean, I think it's the basics in character design or in figure drawing in general, is just to like identify the base shapes first. So like my face is like, it's square in the middle, round on top, and then I got like this like sort of pentagon-y thing going on for my chin. And so like, I don't know, I would make myself a square head. For you, Kurt, probably like an oval.
Whoa, it's blowing my mind. It's like, and it's so hard to talk about this without making it seem like reductive when I use words, but it's like, you're talking about like the simple patterns that are around people's faces, but you making that deliberate decision and using it as an art style, like, sure, you can evolve from this, but what you've created is something that's really unique in its own right, doing it this particular way, because like seeing it as this way is just like, okay, this is someone who's beginning and trying to learn how to make shapes and will perhaps make something more photorealistic, as if that is like the plateau. But this in its own right, if you continue to do this, you'd be like, okay, this is a particular art style now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think my style is it's evolved a little bit because it is a little bit blocky, but the thing that makes it more dynamic is the shading. And once you start like adding texture and shading, then people start to like, I don't know, take you more seriously because it looks like you put more time into it, ? I don't know. But yeah, just like learning a lot about different like colors you could use for shading. Like I just learned last week that you should use red shading for skin tones. Like use red for like, I don't know, under the eyes, like the cheek things, like the little shadow under your neck, use red. And I was like, I thought you used purple. But the things you learn.
This is exciting. We got a question from the chat. Quail Quest asks, watercolors, how do you feel about the waiting to dry time? How much does that factor into your process?
Solid question. Thank you, Quail Quests. Yeah, watercolors, you have to be patient. Some people aren't patient and they dry their watercolors with a hair dryer, and I don't do that. And so sometimes what I do is I'll work on 2 paintings at once. And so say if I do like a base wash on like one painting, and then I'll do like yellow, and then it's still wet, so I'll like flick some orange on it so it'll kind of look like wet splotches or whatever, and then I'll let that dry, and then I'll work on something else, whether it's in my sketchbook or it's another commission, and then I'll either start like painting one section in my sketchbook, and then I'll let that dry, and once that's like drying, commission will be ready for like the next layer. But you don't like want to paint when it's still wet, because then your colors could bleed. So another thing that I do is that I'll just paint something and then I'll go on like TikTok or something, kill some time.
Hell yeah. I love that. Squeeze some media consumption in between the creative process, because for a lot of people it has to be an block of time that is uninterrupted. Like maybe it's the writing process, maybe it's sketching, painting. What's your mindset when you go into, when you actively start sketching and watercoloring, when you do commissions versus when you are just doing it for fun?
Yeah, a lot of the thing about like painting and art and anything that you want to master is that you have to keep repeating, and repetition is the key to mastery, and retention, and getting better. So I'm not super good at being strict with myself when it comes to an art schedule, because I like to make stuff when I feel like it, and I like to be on my own schedule. I hate like being on time. I'm really good at being on time, but I hate it. But I'll probably work on a commission like once or twice a week if I like get a pang of inspo or guilt. Very similar. And then sketchbook stuff. It's usually guilt as well. Mostly because my friend told me that I should make an Instagram. And I did make an Instagram, and I was like, I'm gonna post every day on this Instagram of all my paintings. And there are days that I miss it, and there are days where I don't have anything to paint. And some days I'll just like sit down at my sketchbook, and I'll just draw and paint for like posts for a week. And one time I did that, and that was actually when I did a portrait of you, Kurt, and I did like a bunch of faces. And Steph was like, oh, great, you have like posts for a week. And I actually like posted all of them in one post.
Wow.
So I was like, crap. I don't know. I was feeling it. So like I said, I don't really have any self-control or discipline. But yeah, I try. The guilt, the sort of guilt of not sharing fuels me. But that can also backfire. It's backfired on me where it's like, oh shit, like maybe people want to see my stuff, so I'll make something that I actually hate. I'm like, man, I don't like this. I don't think this is worthy of posting. And so it's kind of a mental battle. Maybe all artists have this. Kurt, maybe you have it. You should let me know. Where you feel like you have to make something or keep up with the schedule, but then you don't feel that your heart is in your work and it's not showing in the end product.
Yeah. I think I can see it like live, like within a VOD. You know, that's the thing where like, if I could retain people without having VODs, then maybe I would go that way, because I think I want, like you said, like the repetition makes you better, and I think viewing your own content is the best way to get better as well. But there are times where I can see like literal sadness on the screen, where I'm doing this for the consistency, because this is the hustle to like create viewership. But there are some times where my heart's just not in it for the week. And when it got to that point where I can like like what I said, where I was like seeing the sadness in my own face, I was like, okay, you need to know when to take a week off, and the people will be there, you know. And maybe a break is what people need to come on back strong, you know, because every time I do take a break, every time I come back, it's just like, oh, Kurt's back.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
So, I feel like when I take a break, like when I come back from taking a break, it's like nothing has changed. I didn't get worse. Maybe like that breath of fresh air sort of made you like better than the last time, just because your senses are like peaked a little bit more, and they're more aware of what you're doing. So you don't feel like you're just slogging on just for the sake of consistency.
Absolutely.
You're in battle.
Yeah, and there was something that you said that was very interesting. When you mentioned the word discipline, I feel like it was in like direct reference to using marketing techniques, like throwing the 5 images in one post rather than scheduling them out for 5 posts, and making that like an issue in your creativity. Because I feel like too much, like the whole marketing aspect of what promotes my creativity is what makes me uncomfortable about being an artist or being in creativity. Because the moment I stop believing myself, I posted this on Twitter, is the moment I became a brand. You know, when I became this sort of thing that needed to be sold, like this sort of thing that needed to like it wasn't just me putting my face on a bunch of screens and like sharing that image across all these different mediums, creating followers on them, or I'm creating my own Times Square, you know. It was more about like those images need to be authentic, and they need to be coming from a real place. So taking that break that you're talking about makes me more deliberate, more like I'm doing this out of I want to be here, and I'm doing this because it's enjoyable. And there are times where you could see like, oh, you seem like you are obligated to be here. You don't have to be here.
Yeah, sometimes it can be exhausting. The thing that rejuvenates me and brings me back to be like, hell yeah, this is what I do, and this is what I do really well. It's when you get earned media, and that's when somebody else says, you've got to check this person out. You got to tune into their stream. You got to like buy one of their paintings. This is what they did for me, and this is what I experienced, and you should check it out. And that's what brings me back. And so like kind of like how you make all of the promo pics and shareable things for this stream. You're like, yeah, here's an Instagram post, here's a Twitter post, Aaron's gonna be on at 7. Like, I shared that with everybody, and like maybe, hopefully, somebody from my network tuned in, and that will give you a benefit. And so when I do a painting and somebody loves it, they share it on their social media, and I get like 2 clients from it. And so it's all just like, that's the authentic marketing that I'm shooting for. So it's like, yes, you can keep being consistent. You can keep going like live on a schedule for the viewership, but the best thing to get is just referred from somebody else. So you gotta like focus on the quality experiences with the people that you have. You're like your viewers or your followers or like your paying clients, and then leverage that to get more quality connects.
I love that. I think that was a huge like perspective shift that I needed to hear, because it was those things that initially that made me feel like I was co-opting someone else's community, co-opting someone's following in order to make myself like bigger, which is like not the intent at all. It's more of, I really love your work and I really hope that people come here and find out about it. Like my intention is for you to be seen, and there are also there's also the part of me just hanging out with you. Like this is an excuse for us to just hang out, which like I would love to extend the invitation. Like, we don't have to be streaming to like do this and have a hangout like that.
Yeah.
But I think that you are interesting enough that if we added an audience like and had questions from the chat, it would just make our experience a lot better.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what's up. So I would love to talk about you streaming in your Twitch account.
Yeah. So I'm definitely not up to speed as you are. I've seen your stream grow. Like, I don't know if I was there at the OG beginning, maybe at the early stages.
Definitely.
But your stream has grown. You've changed the name. You've made the brand. You have the overlays, and it's all super tight. I am bare boning it still. I'm trying to figure out my setup. I'm also trying to figure out where I fit in on an online community and in our like sort of streaming group that we have. Because I think Connor tweeted this maybe earlier this week, but he said like, the community that I value most are the dozen people on Twitch that go watch each other's streams. Mm-hmm. And it's super tight. It's like, yes, we see like the same handful of people everywhere. And it's like, yo, our homies is Joe, is Kurt, is Lito. It's like these people. And it's super cool. And I want my stream to be nice. I don't know what I want it to be yet. I would like to watch other watercolor artists. They do live streams and I want to see how they do it. Mm-hmm. But right now I'm trying to do like at least a stream a week, maybe two. It's also, I'm trying to figure out the dynamic of how to interact with chat while I'm painting, mm-hmm. because it is a creative process and like I love to have people included in it, but I also like to do my own thing. Mm-hmm. So it's all finding the balance. Something that I loved in the beginning when I was streaming is I would be like, y'all give me ideas of what to draw. And then people would say it and I'd be like, yes. Never say no. I'll say yes. And
my God. I'm so glad that we got into the improv of your work, which I think is so magical and like is such the like, what's the word? Like awe-inspiring part of it, where I'm just like, yo, let's throw in like a space person on a moon with a flag that says this, and it's just done before your eyes and you're just like, wow, this is amazing, this is so good. And it's like
there's no pressure. It doesn't have to be great.
But it's like an exquisite corpse like sketch done by the chat. I thought it was just magical to see, and I'm excited about it.
I should try. It's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, OMG, yes, I love the improv painting stream. Yeah, those are good times. And if it gets to a thing, because like that could be a segment of the show where it's like, what I wanted this to be at the beginning and what I think it's going to become this month, because I'm fully booked this month with guests and interviews, and I'm so happy that people responded to my my call out, and is that this is a broadcast like stream. This is basically like public broadcast television, and this is what's on. I'm making TV guides on Instagram. And but what I'm interested in seeing what you produce on Twitch that isn't art as well, or not that it wouldn't be considered art, because the Oregon Trail was such a fun stream.
Yeah, so slight context for viewers. I was like, yo, it'd be cool if I played some games from the computer lab in 4th grade and stream it now and sort of play through the games that we all played when we were in elementary school, and like Oregon Trail was one of them. And I was like, yo, this really threw me back. It threw a lot of people back. The nostalgia hit hard, and it was wild. It was fun. Like, I liked doing it. My computer can't handle streaming. Like, don't you do your streams on like a tablet, Kurt?
Yeah, I do. It's a beefed up tablet, but it looks like it's on life support. There's so many cables coming out of it right now.
Yeah, I saw one of my friends, she, like, her charger only works if she wraps it in aluminum foil. And I was like, dude, it's inspiring. It's definitely inspiring. People are going, like, they're trying to make things work. And I'm like, yo, I would love to do more streaming like that if I can get my computer to handle it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm more than happy to get on a call with you and see what we can do in terms of like all the stream settings that are on it. Because someone mentioned it to me today that it, like, they had boot camp on their laptop, and I was thinking like, oh, boot camp, like I would only ever do that on like a desktop PC. I would never do that on a laptop. Do you know about boot camp? You have a Mac, right?
No. Yeah, I have a Mac.
Yeah, boot camp is how you install Windows on your computer. So you partition your hard drive so that some of it runs on Windows and some of it runs on Mac, OS, whatever.
Yes, yeah, I actually did that, and it made my computer slower, which made me very, very sad.
Okay, yeah.
Because I partitioned it. It was like, Connor was like, yo, this is sketch. And
yeah.
It worked, and that's how I ran like StreamYard and a bunch of these like Streamlabs and all of those like games. And I had a Windows section of my computer. But yeah, it was like kind of sketch and didn't work super fast.
I bet. Yeah, I can only imagine, because I have no idea about your CPU and stuff like that. But you had tried running it off of like Mac first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that wasn't doing anything for you?
It wasn't. What I did is I also created a new profile on my Mac that's like specifically for streaming, just in case if there's any like shit running in the background of like my work profile, then it'll be like shut down specifically for streaming. Word. But Steph just got a new laptop, so maybe I'll try it on hers.
Ooh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And the general consensus is that OBS is way less supercharging your CPU than Streamlabs. Matt is in the chat, aka Poopy Thighs, says, "I love you guys. Love is the fifth element. Love is life. Everyone be nice." I love it.
Poopy thighs.
Poopy thighs. Yeah. How are we doing on time? Do you need to get out of here soon?
Yeah, I'd say got like 15. We made some carnitas, so we gotta consume.
Oh my god. Yes. Can we dedicate just a small portion of your segment to talk about your partner and their bakery?
Yes! Oh my gosh, yes. So a large part of my aesthetic is being with my sweetheart, Steph. She's in the other room, watching on her new computer. And yeah, and so yeah, she is a professional sous chef and baker. And she's from the Bay Area. And she walked me through on how to make pork carnitas today.
That's a big thing.
We're cooking that in the slow cooker, and we're gonna make some tacos. And she's trying to come out with a spring menu for baking, and she usually has like 3 or 4 things on the menu. I'll post on Instagram, and then people in the area will be like, "Ooh, I want to buy this." And one of the things we're gonna put on the menu is a blueberry cake with lemon frosting.
Oh my god. You probably know what I'm going to say next. And it has to do with what Yeet Boy needs to do. And stream.
I think
live.
I know it. Oh, no, I didn't think that.
What did you think? What did you think I was going to say?
I thought you were going to be like, she needs to deliver. But yeah, streaming too.
Yes, deliver. Yeah, that'd be great. Deliver would be incredible. Matt, what are you saying here? Kurt is built on love. Trust me, I've studied Earth life form for years. This guy gives and receives love. He's a force, a tour de force. Wild.
So true.
But yeah, like a baking cooking stream would be wild. I'd love to get more into cooking Twitch.
Yeah, I think she would do great. She is like incredibly introverted. But what I think we could do is that she could just tell me what to do.
Oh, right. Okay. So it's a cooking segment on your show, and all the recipes are written by Steph.
Like, it'll just be, I don't know. Have you ever watched Worth It on BuzzFeed?
No. What is that?
Oh, dude, it's so good. Are you a fan of BuzzFeed YouTube? It's kind of like you like it or you don't.
I haven't partook. Is it
Okay.
anything like the Vice show with Action Bronson, where he travels the world and eats food? Or is it like more corny?
I don't know. I haven't partook in that.
Okay.
But basically what it is that it's like a group of BuzzFeeders, and they go to they explore cuisines and compare 3 different meals at 3 drastically different price points, which is like kind of verbatim of what they say. But there's one guy on the crew, and he's the sound guy, and he is like extremely introverted as well, and he like isn't hooked up to a mic at all, but sometimes he has like mild tidbits to add, and people love him. They're like, yo, the sound guy, make sure you feed the sound guy, include him, he needs to be heard, etc., etc. But I'm like, Steph is the sound guy. Steph is like the person who has something to say and everybody loves, but is not in front of the camera.
Oh yeah, I feel like because the good thoughts are just boiling, they're cooking, and once they're ready, then they get to be said. Whereas we're like the extroverts, we're just like, something's on the pan, it needs to come off the fire.
Exactly, yeah. We're just saying things that don't need to be said, but we'll say them anyway.
I love this conversation. I wish it could go on longer, but I guess my last question would be words of encouragement for up and coming artists. Whatever you might think would help them in terms of getting out of creative ruts or getting into the creative mood.
Yeah. Solid multi-part cue. So words of encouragement for artists is just like, there's no right time to start. And so if you were waiting for something, or like the vibe to hit you, or for inspiration to strike, like, yeah, it'll probably come, but it sucks to wait for it. And that's the problem that I have. I like to wait for inspiration to strike. But if you're feeling kind of low and don't know where to start, maybe look at a tutorial on YouTube, or find like a hashtag on TikTok or Instagram of your specific medium, whether it's filmmaking or painting, drawing, and see what other people are doing. And if you don't know what to make at first, copy someone else. Like my favorite author, his name is Austin Kleon. He wrote the book Steal Like an Artist. And it's okay if you steal something from someone, as long as you're not like selling it and saying that it was your original idea. But if you imitate someone, it's originally yours because you made it. So say if you're trying to draw something in your style, like you copy a picture that's on like a cereal box, like, hey, you started somewhere, that's like your style, you drew it. So try copying someone that you enjoy. And then if you want to see how artists you enjoy are inspired, sort of follow their blog or their newsletter and see the stuff that they're reading and consuming. And I think the best way to make stuff is to basically consume a lot of things that you enjoy and then digest it and then poop out something on the other end that's like your original creation.
Magical words to live by. Aaron, thank you so much for being here. Do you have any plans to stream this week or next?
Yeah, I'll probably stream this week before the weekend, maybe.
I missed
Let's
that
do
last
that.
part. What was that again?
Yeah, maybe tomorrow. I'll stream tomorrow.
Okay, cool. I am throwing a shout out really quick. If you're not following Aaron, give Aaron a follow. Also, you can follow Aaron on Instagram. I'm throwing in the chat command, Aaron the Miller.
Sweet.
There you go.
Yo, nice.
Aaron, you're also part of the server, so at any time you're going live, feel free to drop a link in the going live portion, and feel free to update us on all the watercolors on any stuff you have. We'd love an exclusive sneak peek before Instagram.
Yeah, thanks for chatting. It definitely it made me like remember the improv sketching that we did like a long time ago, and I'm like, dude, we should do that again. So having combos like this definitely helped me come up with ideas or remember stuff that worked in the past. So yeah. Also, super agree with Poopy Thighs. Like this stream works because you like genuinely care about what people are doing, and that is super tight. So thank you for that.
I appreciate it. Thank you for those words. Have a great time. You're always welcome back.
See you guys. Thanks for watching. Back to Kurt. Kurt.
I will take it away. Thanks for being here, everybody. Wanted to mention, Poopy Thigh says William Carlos Williams didn't get famous until he was way old. And going off of this theft idea, check out the book Uncreative Writing, even though the author is canceled because he's a dick and ignorant tool. So, Sid, I thank you for the kind words. Thank you so much for your time and watching. Kurt, more stuff like this. Less games. No, we like when Kurt games too. Yeah, if you're looking forward to more of these talks, I also put it to you. If you know anybody who you think is interesting and you'd like to know more about their creative process, put me in touch if you know them personally. If not, give me, their info on a DM either here on Twitch or on Twitter. You could find me. Wait, I think I have a chat command for that. Here are my socials. Courtney Love TTV on Twitch. Courtney_Love on Instagram. Yeah, there you go. I also have a YouTube channel. This will be going onto YouTube. So, what's up, YouTube? Drop me a subscription down below. I've been Courtney Love, and I will see you another time. We're gonna raid somebody. I'm going to find out in just a moment. If you feel like sticking around, do it. I trust that I'm going to show you a good time with this next person. Let me just see who's online. And why is this thing on top of me? Move this over.